Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. All praise to the Most High. Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah, Barakatham. Hey, to all the sisters, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah, Shamaratham. All praises, all praises. Hey, look, man, the Most High been blessing us, man. Been blessing me. Uh, been through some things this week. It has been a trying week in the spirit, but always beautiful to be able to get on the classes and just bring the word out, man. Been going through Genesis, and Genesis getting deep, man. Right? Hope y'all been catching the rest of these lessons. Genesis has been getting deep, and today we're going to get into Genesis chapter 13 and verse 14, talking about Melchizedek. And excuse me for the title. Let me fix the title here. I want to say Genesis 13 and 14, right? Genesis 13 and 14. So those changes will be updated when you go back and look at the video. All right. So all praise to the Most High. Share this out. Share this out to all your family. Share this out to the brethren and the sisters and all of that, right? Because we're going to get into it. Yep. Hey, Salakia, word without end. Salakia, Salakia. We're going to do chapter 13 and chapter 14. When the person who put the title up for the video, they put Genesis chapter 13, verse 14. But in chapter 14, that's when we start talking about Melchizedek. And we're going to get right into it, right? Of course, I'm going to shout some people out. So all praises for that. Yaquab Israel, shalom, shalom. All praise to the Most High. New brother in the camp. DTA Twan, shalom. Brother Boaz, shalom. Soldier James, shalom. World Without End, shalom. And Sister Brianna Dukes, shalom. All praise to the Most High. So I want to get right into it, right? I'm not going to hold you too long today. I really like to be in and out with these, right? So we're going to get right into it. It's a couple of things we got to talk about. Hey, Officer Knock, shalom, King. What's going on with you, right? So real quick, we're going to get right into it. But if you have questions, shalom, Sister Gabriella, shalom, Zebulon, Ban Yasha Allah, shalom, King, right? Mighty brother right there, mighty brother. Hey, so I want to hit you with I want to do a quick recap of what we've been going through in Genesis. So we started out with the beginning, the Garden of Eden, right? Then we got into the fall. Then we started to deal with the nations, right? That came from Cain. Then we started to deal with the bloodline of Shem. The bloodline of Seth, who is a son of Adam. Then from there, we made it down to Noah. Noah goes through the flood. They come out of the flood. Him and his three sons populate the earth, right, with their wives. So then from there, we end up at a man named Abraham in chapter 12, right? And here we are still dealing with the story of Abraham, one of the greatest patriarchs in the Bible. So y'all tune in for this story, man. This is a great story. We're going to see that Abraham was a warrior. We're going to see that the Most High was dealing with Abraham. We're going to see that the Most High separated Abraham from the other people that was around at the time. And then from there, we're going to get into this story of Melchizedek, man. And we're going to break it down according to the way we see it, right? So the way we see it, ultimately, Melchizedek is Hamashiach Yahushai. We will be able to show you that in this video. If you have any questions, once again, just let us know, and we will go into that, right? So I'm going to go ahead and get started. All praise to the Most High. Starting at Genesis chapter 13 and verse 1. And Abraham went out of Egypt, he and his wife and all that he had, and Lot with them into the south. And Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold. And he went on his journeys from the south, even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Hai. Now, let's break this down real quick. First of all, what is Hai? Hai is AI. So when you read in the Bible, some translations will say AI here. Some translations will say Hai. Because when you start a word off with the prefix Ha, that is the definitive article, and that means the. Yeah, Con, if you can jump on Adawan, that'd be great. That'd be great, right? So, but either way, it's not a big deal. We can get through it, right? So that's what Hai is. Hai is AI plus the prefix the at the beginning. So it's Ha-AI. And you can see that when you look at the Bible Hub. Okay. Now, Bethel is what I want to focus on. This is what you call redaction. And I'm going to write this down and y'all can look this up. Redaction. And this happens throughout the Bible. So this is when a person is writing about something, particularly a place, and he gives the name of that place even before the name of that place was given. What the heck am I talking about, right? Let's get Genesis 28 and 19. Genesis 28 and verse 19. And this is going to demonstrate exactly what I'm telling you. So verse 19. Now, this is the story of Jacob, right? And when Jacob had come into Bethel, the name of the place was not yet Bethel. And Jacob lives after Abraham, right? And look what it says, verse 19. And he called the name of that place Bethel, but the name of the city was called Luz at the first. So we see in here that Jacob is the one who named this place Bethel. Now, check this out. If Jacob named it Bethel, why are we reading 15 chapters before this in Genesis 13 that Abraham already came to a place called Bethel? It's because Moses wrote the Bible. So when Moses wrote the Torah and took these stories and put them in written form, he already knew that that landmass that Abraham was in would eventually be called Bethel. So through a process called redaction, he took new information that did not exist during the time of Abraham to give the readers context, right? Now, fast forward to today, right? Let's say that you write a book. You write a book right now, and, you know, let's say, for instance, you're in Columbia, South Carolina, right? Shout out Columbia, South Carolina, right? So if you from Columbia, South Carolina right now, and you write a book and you bury it in the ground, 2,000 years later, somebody finds that book. They may not know what Columbia, South Carolina is. So when they go tell people that they know about where you're from, they're not going to say Columbia, South Carolina, because you don't know what that means. They're going to say whatever the name of the new city is, right? And that's what Moses is doing right here with Bethel. Okay, so all praises. I just wanted to give you that context because some people might try to spin that and say there's a contradiction in the Bible. We understand, God forbid, that would never happen, right? Let's keep moving. Verse 4. Unto the place of the altar which he had made there at the first. And there Abram called on the name of Yahweh. Once again, another thing we brought out was that there's a precept elsewhere in the Bible, in Exodus chapter 3, I believe it is, where it says that by the name Yahweh, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob did not know the Lord, right? But right here it says that Abram called on the name of the Lord. So there's definitely some studying to be done there to understand exactly what it means when it says that they didn't know the Lord by his name. And me personally, I believe that means that up until a certain point, they didn't know his name, right? But eventually they knew his name. All right, all praises. Verse 5. And Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents, and the land was not able to bear them that they might dwell together. For their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together. And there was a strife between the herdsmen of Abram's cattle and the herdsmen of Lot's cattle. And the Canaanite and the Perizzite dwelt then in the land. And Abraham said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdsmen and thy herdsmen, for we be brethren. So Abraham is saying to Lot, look, we don't need to be fighting over this, right? It's enough land for everybody. And watch what he's going to say. He says, is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right. And if thou depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. Now I want to stop right here. One thing to highlight. How do you say please in Hebrew? Y'all put that on the page. Y'all put that in the comments. How do you say please in Hebrew? Because right here in verse 9, Genesis 13 and 9 tells you how to say the word please. right? According to the way the biblical authors recorded it. How do you say please in Hebrew? Okay. Brother said Baba Kasha. Let's see if somebody else follows with that path of thought. Okay. Okay. So everybody's saying Baba Kasha. Now I can't share it on my screen because my phone, my computer is gonna give up the ghost if I try to share anything, right? But check this out. Read verse 9 one more time. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee. When you say I pray thee, you're saying please or I beg of you. Well, when we go look that word up, and you can look it up right now, but that word is H4994. And that word is na in Hebrew, right? N-A. That's it, na. See that? It's funny because in the South, when we talking to our kids or something, be like, go on now. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just funny. Like, but nah means please. So technically, we telling our kids, go on, please. Like, you know what I mean? But that's in the spirit. You know, I'm just reaching right there. But the word nah is how you would say it according to the biblical Hebrew. Now, I'm going to give y'all a homework assignment. Find the word Baba Kasha anywhere in the Bible. Find that word. And then if you find it, post the scripture. Right? But we're going to keep going. I just want to challenge the narrative because that's a word that we use, but that's not a word that's represented in the Hebrew Bible. Right? But if you do want to say please, there is a word, I pray thee, is na, and that is represented in the actual Bible. Right? So let's keep going. So Abraham tells him in verse 9, he says, if you go to the left, then I'm going to go to the right. And if you go to the right, I'm going to go to the left. So basically, what is he saying? He's telling Lot, I'm going to let you pick the land you want, and I'm going to go the other way. But we don't need to fight, right? And this is the spirit that we have not learned how to adopt as a people yet, man. Right? When we got a brother who got a t-shirt business, and then this brother over here got a t-shirt business, a lot of the time we won't be able to see eye to eye, man. It's like, yo, why you in my space? Right? But we should be looking at it like we all can eat. Right? That's how Abraham was looking at it. He was looking at it like, yo, we all can eat. And we know the Most High was not really dealing with Lot like that. Right? And we know that from the story that happened with his children. We're going to read that a little bit later. But we know that from the story that happened with his children. And we know the Most High not dealing with his children. Right? So when we start understanding these things, Abraham was still moving with the spirit like, yo, I'm not going to fight my brother, man, like for no reason. Whether the Most High dealing with him or not, I'm not fighting this man because he is part of my family. Right? That's how Abraham was moving. Let's keep going. Verse 10, and Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere, before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, as thou comest unto Zoar. Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east. And they separated themselves the one from the other. Abram dwelt in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelt in the cities of the plain, and pitched his tent toward Sodom. So Lot was very close in proximity to the city of Sodom, which is why the story goes the way it goes. Right? But let's keep reading. But the men of Sodom were wicked sinners before Yahweh exceedingly. Now, I wanted to read that like that for a reason. Hold on real quick. Let me respond to a text. Okay. So, yes, it said they were wicked and sinners before the Most High exceedingly. Now, question, can the other nations be sinners? Can the other nations be sinners? And we have heard brothers say that the other nations cannot sin. Right here, it tells us that the people of Sodom were wicked and they were sinners. Now, why do brothers teach that the other nations can't sin? Why do certain brothers teach that? Certain brothers teach that because sin is the transgression of the law, but the law was not given to the other nations, right? So that's why they teach that, so that you can understand the context. But I think the meaning of this is that when brothers say that, they also acknowledge that those people can never do anything to please the Most High. Because what is the will of the Most High? Let's get that. Let's get Psalms 40:8. Right? So it's two sides to the same coin. Psalms 40 and verse 8. And that says, I delight to do thy will, O my God. Yea, thy law is within my heart. So only an Israelite person could say this, because the other nations have not been given that law, and it can't be in their heart, and therefore they can't do it, and they can't please the Lord. So everything they do would be wicked. Everything they do would be in the realm of sin, right? So it's really two prevailing theories on that. Some people would say that other nations can't sin, and then some people would say that the only thing they can do is sin, right? Because they can't be in right standing with the Most High God. So I just wanted to give you both perspectives on how people see that. Another precept that I like to pull is 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 3. This is my precept for the will of God, right? For this is the will of God, even your sanctification, that you should abstain from fornication, and that every one of you should know how to possess his vessel in sanctification and honor. So you can't even know how to possess your vessel in sanctification and honor. You can't possess your vessel in sanctification unless you live in by the law, statutes, and commandments, right? So in that way, the other nations would be sinners. And Sodom and Gomorrah especially did not know how to possess their vessels in sanctification and honor, right? And because of them, we have taken the term sodomite to mean men who lie with men, right? Because of this nation of Sodom and Gomorrah, right? But let's keep going, because we got to get into Melchizedek too. Verse 14. And the Lord said to Abram, after that Lot was separated from him. So the Most High waited for Lot to be separated from Abraham before he said this. Lift up now thine eyes and look from the place where thou art northward and southward and eastward and westward. For all the land which thou seest to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. Arise, walk through the land, for in the length of it and the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee. And Abram removed his tent and came and dwelt in the plain of Mamre, which is in Hebron, and built there an altar unto Yahweh. So this is a beautiful story, because look, the Most High said he waited until Lot left. Then he gave this promise to Abraham and said, look, I don't want to be no confusion. Your seed is the one I'm dealing with, right? And they're going to have this land. They're going to be as numerous as the stars. And if a man can count the sand that's on the seashore, then he will also be able to count the children of Israel, right? This is the beautiful thing that the Most High said to Abraham, right? Hey, shalom to be like ants, and shalom Diane Bond Zebulon. Shalom, shalom. All praises. So this is the foundation of that story, right? Boom, boom, boom. All right, Khan. Hold on real quick, y'all. I gotta copy this real quick. Y'all put a 7 in the chat if y'all following. All praises. If you have any questions about anything I said so far, definitely drop them in there. I'm gonna get this link over to somebody real quick, and we're gonna keep it pushing. Right? Hey, I've been having fun doing these Torah classes. We're gonna get through this Torah faster too, because I'm only doing 2 chapters right now. And when we start getting into Exodus, Leviticus, we're not only doing 2 chapters. We're gonna have to do like 3 or 4 chapters. Because we got to get through it. You understand? All right. All praises. There go to sevens. There go to sevens. Hey, Shalom, Yawasop. Shalom, King. What's going on? It's in the Telegram. All right, I don't want. It's in the Telegram. It's in the Telegram. All praises. Hey, he said, please don't speed up. Hey, that's right. That's right. But what I mean by speed up is, I want to be able to cover more in one class. But yes, you're right. We're going to take our time with it, man, because the Torah is the most important part of the Bible, right? If you don't have these foundational principles, you're not getting nowhere with the Most High, man. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. He says, Salakia, what was Moses calling the Most High before he knew his name? That's a great question. Hold on real quick. Let's salute the captain. Salakia, what was Moses calling the Most High before he knew his name? That's a great question. Hold on real quick. Hey, you got the sound playing. You got to mute. Moses calling the Most High. All right, we're going to let him get that together real quick. Adawan, when you come on, you got to mute your sound in the back. And then give me the thumbs up and I'll pull you up there. All right, so all praises. So let's go into Exodus real quick to answer this question. Boom. Let's go into Exodus. Now we know that Moses is told the name of the Lord in Exodus chapter 3, and you can start at 13, right? And read on down. So I'm going to start there. Real quick. So this is Exodus chapter 3 and verse 13. And Moses said, let me put the question up on the screen. All right. And your camera's off too, Adawan. Just let me know when you're ready. All right. And Moses said unto God, behold, when I come unto the children of Israel and shall say unto them, the God of your fathers have sent me unto you, and they shall say to me, what is his name? What shall I say unto them? So right here is clear. Moses don't know the name of the Most High just yet, right? It's clear at this point. Now, before we, hold on, boom, 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 boom. Okay, cool. So let me read verse 14 as well. And God said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am have sent me unto you, right? And then he goes on. And then later on, he tells him that by the name of Yahweh, you shall pronounce my name, right? So we use this verse to show you that there was a point in time when Moses did not know the name of the Most High. It was very clear he did not know his name. And then after that, the Most High started revealing who he was to Moses, right? Well, let's jump over to earlier in chapter 3. This is Exodus chapter 3 and verse 4. And when the Lord saw that he turned aside to see, God called to him out of the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, here am I. And he said, draw not nigh hither. Put off thy shoes from thy feet, for the place whereon thou standest holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon God. Now, this is what I want to point out. This is the reason I went there. So it's clear before Moses knows the name of the Most High, he's told that he's the same God of his ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But what's cold about the whole thing is we just read that Abraham was calling on the name of the Lord, right? So was Moses disconnected from his heritage while he was in Egypt? I mean, it's not 100% clear, but it's something to think about, right? Was he also disconnected from his heritage while he was in Egypt? And therefore, he didn't know the name of the Most High God, even though his forefathers knew it, even though Abraham knew it, right? And that speaks a lot for us because we find ourselves in Moses' seat, teaching the people the law, bringing the light to the nations, right? But we don't have the whole piece of the puzzle just yet. We are disconnected from our forefathers, the ones who knew the Most High. And now we find ourselves in that same seat that Moses was in. We got to leave the world. We got to come out and deal with the Most High in a new culture, in a new way of life. And even though we was previously disconnected, right? And that's why the New Testament says you were Gentiles in times past. So I just thought that was heavy, the connection right there. But the question is, what was Moses calling the Most High before he knew his name? It's not 100% clear. The only way to prove what Moses was calling the Most High, we would have to find a verse where he's speaking about who he saw. But he didn't see the Most High till after the burning bush, and that was after he got the name of the Most High. So it's kind of difficult to say. We would have to comb through Exodus chapter 1 through the beginning of chapter 3 to really understand what he was calling him before that. But even when you look at it, it uses the word God a lot throughout Exodus. So I would assume that Moses just kind of thought of the Most High as like either the Most High or God or something like that. He wouldn't have used the word God because that's an English word. But he would have thought of him in a general term. He didn't know his name because he was disconnected from that heritage, even though we already saw that Abraham knew his name, right? So that was a lot of words, Salakia, but if that question was answered clearly, just let me know. Otherwise, like I said, we have to read Exodus chapter 1 through the early portions of 3 to really get the answer for that. All right, so I'm going to go back to Genesis 14. All right, Khan. So this is Genesis chapter 14 and verse 1. And it came to pass in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elasar, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of nations, that these made war with Bera, king of Sodom, Birsha, king of Gomorrah, Shinab, king of Admah, Shemeber, king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, which is Zoar. All these were joined together in the vale of Siddim, which is in the Salt Sea. The vale is like saying the valley. Okay, hey, all praises. Hey, we appreciate you anyway, Adawan. All praises. Ain't no sweat, right? So look at this. So basically, you got all these kings fighting against each other. And I'm going to write this down in the chat and put it on the screen. So you got king of Shinar, king of Elasar, king of Elam, and king of nations. Now, I wonder why they say king of nations. That's very interesting language, right? And also king of nations. And these made war versus the king of Sodom, king of Gomorrah, king of Admah, king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela. And that guy's name is Zoar, right? Put this on the screen. It's easier to see it or understand it. Follow along when you can see it. All right. Boom. All right. Khan. So verse 4. 12 years they serve, and let me jump up to verse 3 again. All these were joined together in the valley of Siddim, which is the Salt Sea. 12 years they served Chedorlaomer. In the 13th year they rebelled, and in the 14th year came Chedorlaomer and the kings that were with him, and smote the Rephaims and Ashtaroth, Karnaim, and the Zuzims and Ham, and the Emims and Shavah Kiriathaim, and the Horites in their mount Seir, unto El Paran, which is by the wilderness. And they returned and came to En Mishpat, which is Kadesh, and smote all the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites that dwell in Hazazon Tamar. And there went out the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, and the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, which is Zoar, and they joined battle with them in the valley of Siddim, which Chedorlaomer, the king of Elam, and with Tidal, king of the nations, and Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elasar, 4 kings with 5. So basically, 4 kings was fighting against 5 kings, right? That's what that means. Let's keep going. And they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their victuals and went their way. And they took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. Now, so after all these kings came together and started fighting, the ones who won, they beat the guys that was with Sodom and Gomorrah. Hey, hold on real quick. Oh, Salakia. Hey, Shalom, King, Shalom. Y'all about to show me out.
Shalom.
Hey, the brother Officer Shemaiah in the building.
God.
Pray. How you doing, King?
Enduring, man, enduring.
I feel it. All right. So look, so you had these 4 kings, right? And so they came up and they defeated the other 5 kings that they was fighting against, and Sodom and Gomorrah fell during this process. So when Sodom and Gomorrah fell and they lost that battle, Lot got taken captive. All right. So now watch what happens. In there, verse 13. And just let me know when you're ready. You can jump in there. But
Yeah,
verse
I'm
13.
ready.
Okay, Khan. This is Genesis 14 and 13.
14 and 13. All right, Khan. And there came one that had escaped and told Abram, the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol, and brother of Aner. And these were confederate with Abram.
So Abraham had brothers that was ready to ride with him. Now, notice these was not people in Abraham's bloodline. They were just people that was around, right? But Abraham made a league with them because guess what? You got to be crafty sometimes. When you're in the world, you might have to make a deal with the damn mailman or something like that. Yo, don't leave my packages over here. The people like to steal my packages, and then you get cool with the mailman. He put them somewhere else for you, right? Little small things like that, right? Well, Abraham made a league with these brothers for whatever reason, and they ended up helping them out later on down the line, right? Let's read verse 14.
And when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants, born in his own house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan.
Hey, and Abram had a warrior ready squad, like set to the side and ready to go. Right? He had brothers that was born in his house. I was telling my kids this the other day. This is cold because this is almost like Abraham had over 318 servants. There was just warrior ready. So that means at least 318 men. We ain't talking about the women. We ain't talking about the children. He got that many servants in his house. Abraham was out here, man. Right? And he gathered these people together to do what? To go get Lot back. Right? So let's keep reading. Verse 15.
And he divided himself against them, he and his servants by night, and smote them, and pursued them unto Hobah, which is on the left hand of Damascus. And he brought back all the goods, and also brought again his brother Lot and his goods, and the women also, and the people. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him after his return from the slaughter of Chedorlaomer.
Yep.
And of the kings that were with him at the valley of Shaveh, which is the king's dale.
Okay, now, so after Abraham won this battle, the king of Sodom, the new king of Sodom, right? Or let me see something. I'm trying to make sure the other king of Sodom ain't died. Hold on. I want to make sure I didn't read that wrong. It says Valley of Siddim, slime pits, and the king of Sodom and Gomorrah fled and fell there. So it says in 14 and verse 10 that the original king of Sodom we was reading about, that's on the screen right now, right? That guy fled and fell. So this must be another king of Sodom that rose up after that guy, right? But the Bible doesn't clearly state that, but I'm assuming that's what that means. And so that guy comes out to meet Abraham because he like, dang, bro, like you won this battle, damn, like, you know what I mean? Now this provides context to Genesis chapter 18, because later on, what does Abraham tell the Most High? He says, well, what if you find 2 or 3 good people in Sodom? Right? because Abraham has already made alliances with some of these people, and he fought beside some of these people. But what did the Most High end up doing? He was like, yo, I gotta destroy this place, man. Right? You're gonna see I don't care nothing about these people. I used them earlier to let you win that battle, but I don't necessarily care about them people like that. So right now, this king of Sodom comes back, meets Abraham, right? And they all looking at Abraham like, dang, I appreciate you for helping. Well, this is when verse 18 happens, right? Go ahead.
And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God.
Stop. How can you already be a priest of the Most High God and you just came out of nowhere? Like, think about it. Abraham, according to our knowledge, Abraham, the only person on earth that the Most High dealing with. And this dude named Melchizedek comes out of nowhere, and he already a priest of the Most High God. It ain't even Levites yet. He already a priest of the Most High. This is heavy, right? This is really heavy. Now let's jump over to Hebrews chapter 7 and verse 1. Now keep in mind while we getting that, keep in mind that Moses is the one who wrote this. So Moses knows that there's a priest in a higher order than what he can be in and what Aaron can be in. He knows that already.
Hebrews what? 7?
Yeah, 7 and verse 1.
All right. It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 7 and verse 1. For this Melchizedek, king of Salem, priest of the Most High God, who met Abraham returning from the slaughter of the kings and blessed him, to whom also Abraham gave a 10th part of all, first being by interpretation king of righteousness, and after that also king of Salem, which is king of peace. Without father, without mother, without descent, having neither beginning of days nor end of life, but made like unto the Son of God, abideth a priest continually.
Now I want to stop right there. It said he abides a priest continually. Now that's heavy, because if he's a priest continually and there was no temple, there was no tabernacle yet, there was no codified covenant with the law, statutes, and commandments as of yet, right? But the law, statutes, and commandments existed, but it wasn't codified. Like, it wasn't given to the nation in a covenant just yet. How is he a priest? And who is he? Right? So now we got more questions. Well, let's dig a little bit further. Let's get Sirach chapter 24 and start at verse 3.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 24 and verse 3. I came out of the mouth of the Most High and covered the earth as a cloud.
So who this got to be talking about? If it came out of the mouth of the Most High, y'all put it in the chat. Officer Shemaiah, don't give it away. Don't give it away yet. Look, y'all put it in the chat. If it's somebody who came out of the mouth of the Most High, then what that person got to be? Right? We might mess around and go off course one day and do a Sirach 24 breakdown, man. Sirach 24 is my chapter. I love that chapter. See, I don't want y'all, man. You ain't supposed to give it away that easy. Come on now.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Shalom, Captain Judah as well. All right. Look, Barzaya said Christ. That's right. The word. That's what I was looking for. See, she listened to the clues. Y'all just gave the answer up. She listened for the clues. If you came out of somebody's mouth, you got to be the word, right? Hey, pull Revelation 19 and 13 real quick.
I thought you wanted John 1 and 1.
Oh yeah, we hit that one too. That's a good one too.
You said 19.
Yeah, 19 and 13.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 19 and verse 13. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High.
That's it. So his name is the Word of the Most High. And then he already called John 1 and 1. So I'm going to grab that one real fast, because we want to give y'all the full picture real quick. So John 1 and 1, in the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. Right? So this right here, boom, 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 boom. Hold on, let me get another one too. Verse 14. And the word was made flesh and dwelt among us. And we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. So, yeah, that's right. Pair that with 1 and 1, right? And Isaiah 55:11. That's one of my favorite ones too. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth, it shall not return unto me void. Now, let's go back into Sirach 24, because we still got to find out who this person is and how they can claim, how the Bible can claim that they was a priest continually when the priesthood wasn't set up yet, and when it wasn't nobody. How you a priest continually? Somebody gotta make that make sense, right? And this is something that we gotta bring out patiently and faithfully to our Old Testament only brethren. They gotta explain who Melchizedek is. They have to explain that. That alone is a crucial portion of what they can explain, because they don't have the book of Hebrews. Right? But let's keep going. So we got Sirach 24, verse 4.
I dwelt in high places, and my throne is in a cloudy pillar.
Now, this person got a throne as well. That's cold, but come on.
I alone compassed the circuits of heaven, and walked in the bottom of the deep, in the waves of the sea, and in all the earth, and in every people and nation I got a possession.
Come on.
With all these I sought rest, and in whose inheritance shall I abide? So the creator of all things gave me a commandment, and he that made me caused my tabernacle to rest, and said, let thy dwelling be in Jacob, and thy inheritance in Israel.
Hey, that right there. If you ain't got that highlighted, I don't know what you're doing. Right? So this is Yahushua saying, yo, the creator of all things, he's speaking about somebody outside of himself, say, gave me a commandment. We already know that Christ says that he keeps the commandments of the Most High God. And if you love the Most High, you must also keep the commandments, and the Most High will love you as he loves him, right? So we know that. That's in the book of John. But then he said, he caused my tabernacle to rest. Now, I'm not going to get into this, but he's saying that the tabernacle belongs to him. He's saying my tabernacle, right? Verse 9. Let's see what it says.
He created me from the beginning, before the world, and I shall never fail.
That's the Isaiah 55:11. I shall never fail, because the word that goes from my mouth, it shall not return to me void. But what does verse 10 say?
In his holy tabernacle I served before him, and so was I established in Zion.
Who serves in the tabernacle? Y'all tell me that in the chat. Who serves in the tabernacle? Hamashiach Yahushua right now is telling you, he came out of the mouth of the Most High before the earth was set up. He had a throne already. The Most High, he was roaming throughout the earth, and the Most High said, look, let your tabernacle be in Jacob. Let your dwelling be in Israel. Right? There we go. See, look, Brianna, you missed that one because you spelled priest wrong. See? You're trying to be too fast. That's right. There you go. You see that? So the priest is the person who serves in the tabernacle. So Christ is telling you, before the earth was created, I was already serving in the tabernacle. So now when we look at Melchizedek and he shows up out of nowhere, made like unto the Son of God, and he says, I'm the priest of the Most High God, you got to hang it up right there. Who's the only person that could be qualified to be a priest of the Most High God before Abraham is even dealing with the Most High on an intimate level just yet? Right? So that's how we are able to make that connection. Now, let's go back, because it's a little bit more in Genesis that we're going to be able to see. It's a little bit more clues there. Right? Okay, he fell down real quick. Or did I do that?
I don't know.
Okay, I put my Bible on top of my keyboard and I looked back up and he was gone. All right. Salakia, that might have been me. All right. So verse 19.
Verse 19, and he blessed him and said, blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth. And blessed be the Most High God, which has delivered thy enemies into thy hand, and he gave him tithes of all.
Now stop
And the
right
king,
there. So Abraham paid tithes to Melchizedek. Now let's go back to Hebrews 7. I'll go back to Hebrews. And we're going to start at verse 4.
it's the book of Hebrews, chapter 7 and verse 4. Now consider how great this man was, unto whom even the patriarch Abraham gave the tenth of his spoils.
Why would Abraham be giving a tenth of anything to anybody if the Most High is only dealing with him? Somebody got to explain that. And how did Abraham know in the spirit who this man was? Right? That's another question that we'll never know the answer to. But keep reading. Verse 5.
And verily, they that are of the sons of Levi, who receive the office of the priesthood, have a commandment to take tithes of the people according to the law, that is, of their brethren, though they come out of the loins of Abraham.
So, okay, long story short, the Levites came from Abraham. So by extension, the Levites are not greater than Abraham. And the Levites take tithes from people. But Abraham is greater than the Levites. But Abraham paid tithes to somebody else. So that shows you that whoever Abraham paid tithes to is of a higher priesthood than the Levites. That's what the Bible is trying to teach you in Hebrews chapter 7. The priesthood of Melchizedek is higher than the priesthood of Levi. That's what the Bible is trying to teach you. Right? He said, what offering did priest Melchizedek give with the wine and bread? Let's look into that. Let's keep reading real quick. I'm gonna revisit that. Go ahead.
Verse 6.
Verse 6.
Right. But he whose descendant is not counted from them received tithes of Abraham, and blessed him that had the promises.
So Abraham had the promises, but he received a blessing from somebody who didn't even come from Abraham. It's heavy. It's heavy. So once again, Hamashiach Yahushai, that's why we are able to give Hamashiach Yahushai the praise, honor, and respect that we can give him. Right? It says, the scripture says that wisdom shall praise herself. So we can actually give praise, honor, and glory to Hamashiach Yahushai because the Most High has allotted that type of glory to him because he's greater than Abraham. If Abraham walks into the room, we're going to stop everything and we're going to, Adawan, Shalom. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody better not say a word. Everybody better shut up and let Abraham say what he got to say. But if Christ, or let's use the terminology we're reading right now, if Melchizedek walks in a room, Abraham gonna shut up. That's what we trying to show you. Abraham gonna shut up when Melchizedek walk in the room. Right? Let's keep going.
Verse 7. And without all contradictions, the less is blessed of the better.
The less is blessed of the better. Abraham was blessed by somebody who was greater than him. And that's the only way it works, right? When the last time you seen somebody in the Bible who was not greater than the person that they blessed, right? Jacob blessed his sons. He was greater than his sons, so he could do that. Moses blessed the 12 tribes. He was greater than the 12 tribes, so he could do that, right? He was in a position of greater authority than the 12 tribes, so he could do that. The Most High blessed Israel and said, these are my people above all other people, right? All of these things happen on a top-down basis. The person who's better blesses the person who is under them in status or authority. So this is what's going on, right? So it's obvious clues here that whoever this Melchizedek character is, he belongs to a different priesthood. Now, this is why Christ said, my kingdom is not of this world, right? And when we start getting into Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So, and that'll be a different breakdown. But the obvious point here is that the order of Melchizedek is from another priesthood, and that's the priesthood the entire nation of Israel is supposed to be moving under and operating under, right? We still supposed to use the Levites. I'm gonna get you a precept now to show you that the Levites are forever. We're not saying this to say that the Levites are not forever. All right, give me Jeremiah 33 and 18. Right? What are we not saying?
All right, it's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 33 and verse 18. Neither shall the priests, the Levites, want a man before me to offer burnt offerings, and to kindle meat offerings, and to do sacrifice continually.
You see that? And when the Bible says neither shall they want, that means neither shall they lack. So neither shall they lack a man to stand before the Most High God continually, man. So we know that even today, the tribe of Levi has not been wiped out. We know that in the future, the tribe of Levi will not be wiped out. And we know that when we get to the kingdom, the tribe of Levi will be restored to their rightful office, and they will be able to do what they do, right? But according to Ezekiel chapter 44 on down, we also know that the prince, which is the high priest, and I would submit to you that that's the same prince that we're reading about now, that same Melchizedek that we're reading about now. He will offer offerings for the nation of Israel, and he will come in through the east gate, right? And he will bring the offers and the sacrifices before the Most High God in that final temple when we get back to the kingdom. All right. So let's get back in to Genesis. Let's read the rest of it, and then I want to look at her question real quick.
All right. Verse 20. And blessed be the Most High God, which hath delivered thy enemies into thy hand, and he gave them tithes of all. And the king of Sodom said unto Abram, give me the persons, and take the goods to thyself. And Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted up my hand unto the Lord, and the Most High God, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take from a thread even to a shoe latchet, and that I will not take anything that is thine, lest thou shouldest say, I have made Abram rich, save only that which the young men have eaten, and the portion of the men which went with me, Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre. Let them take their portion.
Hey, so Abraham said, I don't want nothing from this. Y'all go your business. I really just wanted to save my family members. And the food that my men ate, we'll keep that. Other than that, we don't want none of your stuff. Right? So this is cold, and we already know why he was in a position to do that. Abraham was financially set up where he could do that. Right? But even if he wasn't set up, I believe in my spirit, he wouldn't have wanted it. He didn't come there for the spoils. And the Most High probably wouldn't have wanted him to have nothing from Sodom and Gomorrah anyway, because he was going to destroy that place later. So it was like, yo, I just want my family back. Y'all take what y'all got, and you ain't gonna be able to say you made me rich. So y'all get out of here, right? And that's basically what happened. All praise to the Most High. So let me look at her question. She said, what offering did Melchizedek give with the wine and bread? So it says Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God. And he blessed him and said, blessed be Abram of the Most High, possessor of heaven and earth. Blessed be the Most High, which has delivered the enemies. I'm not sure I understand the question. So are you asking what offering he presented with the bread and wine? And question, where does it say he made an offering? Or am I missing something? Did it say Melchizedek made an offering?
No, I don't see one.
Yeah, I don't see it because it's only like 4 verses.
Yeah.
It's like 3 verses that even talk about it. So I don't see that he gave an offering. Unless I'm missing something. Now let me go back to Hebrews real quick and see if it's over there. But I don't think it says he gave an offering. Or are you asking what offering did Abraham give Melchizedek? Oh, what was the purpose? Okay, I got you. So I think the purpose of the bread and wine, and I don't know, I haven't heard any breakdown on this, honestly. So I ain't even gonna sit here and lie, make nothing up. But I could see somebody being spiritual with that and saying, yo, the bread, hit you with Sirach 15:3. Let's read that real quick. Somebody might hit you with Sirach 15:3.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 15, verse 3. With the bread of understanding shall she feed him, and give him the water of wisdom to drink.
Right? So somebody could make an analogy and say this bread and wine is related to the bread of understanding in the wine of wisdom, right? Like we could kind of make that understand, but I think even that will be like I'm being spiritual about it. The text isn't clear as to why he brought that. I think Melchizedek showed up as a regular man. I think the way it happened was Abraham got done fighting them kings, slaying these damn heathens, and he shows up. They done everybody celebrating. They're like, "Yo, Abraham," and then another guy just comes up, and Abraham like, "Yo, okay, here go another guy," and he bringing gifts. He slipped right through the crowd, and then it's like, "Yo, I'm from the Most High, and I'm here to tell you this." Boom, boom, boom. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm looking
Yeah,
at it like that.
that's what I
You
was
see what I'm
thinking.
saying? Yeah, that's how I'm kind of looking at it. So I mean, but I could be missing a spiritual aspect there, and I could see where brothers could make that connection. But I think even when you make that connection of it being spiritual, like the bread is understanding, and Melchizedek gave him the spirit of understanding and gave him the spirit of wisdom and all this. That's possible, but I don't see it in the text. So I'm gonna go with that answer. He said, was it just a hospitable gesture? I believe so. And think about it. Men just got done battling and fighting. You know what I mean? Let's put it in our perspective, right? You at the Floyd Mayweather, no, not Floyd Mayweather. You at a Javante Davis fight. He just got done fighting Ryan Garcia for the 19th time, right? And so he see Ryan Garcia, or you see the fight, you show up backstage, you gonna just come empty-handed looking like a fan, or you gonna come back there like, hey man, congratulations, man, good fight. You know what I'm saying? Here, hey, look, my people got something for you. You know what I'm saying? Give him a case of a case of some Ace of Spades or something like that. Whatever people drinking these days, do say or something like that. And then you just give him a case of something just to have something, not to be empty-handed. That's kind of how I be looking at it. She said, I assumed it was an offering because he was a priest and he brought bread and wine as the Levitical priest did in the temple. Okay, that's an educated answer as well, right? And that would be spiritual. Once again, that would be spiritual because there wasn't a physical temple. So if he bringing bread and wine, what does the bread and wine that Melchizedek is showing up with translate into? It would translate into the bread of understanding and the wine of wisdom. Like I could really see that, right? I could really see that. Let me pull a precept to show you what she's talking about real quick. So we know that the priests are associated with bread. So let's get Exodus 25 and 30.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 25 and verse 30. And thou shalt set up the table showbread before me always.
You see that? So the priests set up the showbread continually, week after week, and every Sabbath they baked a fresh batch of showbread and put the showbread on the table of mercy, right? Or on the table of presence, and they put that in the tabernacle every single week without fail. They always did that. Um, and so that could be the bread, right? And then let's go to Numbers 28 and 7. And this is the law for the drink offering to show you where the wine comes from. So if we were to connect this to the Levitical priesthood, we could make a case that the bread and wine is a gesture to show that he is actually a priest, because the Most High's priest always dealing with bread and wine, right? Let's read verse 7.
It's the book of Numbers, chapter 28 and verse 7. And the drink offering thereof shall be the fourth part of an hin for the one lamb. In the holy place shalt thou cause the strong wine to be poured unto the Lord for a drink offering.
You see that? So wine is associated with a drink offering. And anytime we had Passover, anytime we did a continual burnt offering, anytime we did a sin offering, anything like that, we had to have a drink offering, which is where the wine came from. Right? So when you read the story of Passover, and I bring this out every year, but when we read the story of Passover, excuse me, we always like, yo, where does the wine come from? The wine is not in Exodus chapter 12. The wine is not in Leviticus chapter 23. The wine is the drink offering. So that's why Yahushua and them had wine, because they symbolizing it in a meal. They having every element of their offering represented at the meal as well. They pour out some of it on the altar, and then probably the rest of it is dedicated to the Levites, or some of it is given back to the person so that they can have it with their meal later on that night. Right? So all praise to the Most High, man. If y'all have any more questions with that, then we can hit them. Other than that, I want to hit y'all with some precepts real quick. I've just been meditating on throughout the week, and then we're going to let y'all get back to y'all night. If you don't have any questions, just put a 1. That way we'll know to move on. All right. That's right. Let's pull that real quick. Matthew 26 and 26. All praise to the Most High. Water, Captain Aharon for that.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 26 and verse 26. And as they were eating, Yahushua took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to the disciples and said, take, eat, this is my body.
Come on.
And he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, drink ye all of it. For this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins.
God. So that's what it is, right? So it's shed for many for the remission of sins. And as we see here, this right here represents that wine. It doesn't say the word wine here in that verse, but it does reference it in verse 29, right? It references the wine in verse 29. I will not drink henceforth of the fruit of the vine. So that's what we're talking about. So that's the reason the wine is represented at the Passover Seder. Is it all of the above? Hey, and once again, I'm gonna tell you straight up, I don't never go against the spiritual interpretation. I don't ever go against the spiritual interpretation, because I feel like even if it's the physical, it still represents the spiritual. Right? I got a precept for that. Let's get Job 11 and 3. Job 11 and 6. Even if it's the physical, it still represents the spiritual.
It's the book of Job, chapter 11, and verse 6. And that he would show these the secrets of wisdom, that they are double to that which is. Know therefore that God.
That's it. That's it. So they are double. The secrets of wisdom are double to that which is, meaning that everything is double. It can be both ways. That's why we can read the story of Adam and Eve. We can look at it the way it's supposed to be as a parable, but we can also get the spiritual representation from it. We can go a little bit deeper and get some meat from it for our own lives, right? Look at this. This is Sirach 24, Sirach 42 and 24. All things are double one against another, and he have made nothing imperfect. So the Most High don't make nothing imperfect. Everything is perfectly placed where it's supposed to be, and it can connect on many different levels. And this is the reason why we can study the Bible for the rest of our lives. And we'll never get to the bottom. We'll never get to the bottom of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll never get to the bottom of the wisdom. All right. Salaki, my phone just went off and I got distracted. Yeah. Okay, Con. So all praise to the Most High. I think that's gonna be it, man. I do want to hit y'all with this real quick. If I can get hold on, let me pull it up so I don't misquote it. since we're speaking about priest. I should have had this written down, but hold on. Okay, Khan. Let's go to Malachi chapter 3 and verse 1. So we talking about priests. We already proved that the Levites will never be done away with, and we showed you how the priesthood of Melchizedek is higher than the priesthood of Levi. Now I'm gonna show you what the priesthood of Melchizedek was used for. And that spirit has recycled itself throughout the earth, right? Those who have moved in the spirit of Melchizedek, those who have moved in the spirit of being a king and a priest on the earth, right? Because Melchizedek is a king and a priest. He is our example, right? So I'm going to read this precept for you really quick. This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9. And it reads, but you are a chosen generation, a royal. The word royal denotes royalty or kingship, right? A royal priesthood. So in order to be a royal priesthood, you got to be a king and a priest, right? We also see this in Exodus chapter 19 and verse 6. Let me hit you with that. Exodus chapter 19 and verse 6 reads, and you shall be unto me a kingdom of priests, a holy nation, right? So these are the words that echo all throughout the Bible. Well, that spirit was recycled throughout the nation, and a couple of people attained that, right? David attained that because David wore ephod. David was able to do things that only priests would have been able to do. He ate the showbread. David did a lot of things as a king that only priests should be able to do, right? Phineas in the book of Numbers, I believe it's chapter 22 or 24, something like that. Phineas gained an everlasting priesthood because he stopped the plague from carrying out throughout the tribes of Israel, right? Y'all can read that story, and we'll read it when we get there in the Torah. But I'm gonna let you read Malachi chapter 3 and verse 1, and I'm gonna show you what the role of a king and a priest is. I'm gonna leave you with a couple of words, and then we're gonna bounce.
It's the book of Malachi, chapter 3 and verse 1. Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the Lord, whom ye seek, shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant whom ye delight in. Behold.
Hey, hold on. We pointed something else out earlier in Sirach 24. Notice what it just said. The messenger shall come to his temple. Now, this is the Most High God speaking. If you understand what's going on in Malachi right here, the Most High God is speaking. He's saying somebody else owns the temple. We know the Most High owns everything. But the Most High is saying, whoever I send, this messenger will be greater than the temple. He's going to come to his temple. We read earlier that Hamashiach Yahushai is the man who owns the temple, right? Keep reading.
Even the messenger of the covenant whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith the Lord of hosts. But who may... Keep going?
No, you got it.
Okay. But who may abide the day of his coming, and who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner of fire, and like fuller soaps.
Hold up. What is refiner? What is a refiner? When you're trying to purify gold or you're trying to purify silver, you would refine it. It's a process of refining. You would keep running it through the metal or through the fire until it came out pure and it was ready to be molded exactly into what you wanted it to be, right? Okay. He's gonna be like a refiner's fire, and he's gonna be like fuller's soap. So not only is he gonna refine people and make them sharper and make them better, but he's gonna clean them. Right? Let's keep going.
And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver, and he shall purify the sons of Levi.
He shall purify who?
The sons of Levi.
Okay, come on.
And purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto the Lord an offering in righteousness. Then shall the offering of Judah and Jerusalem be pleasant unto the Lord, as in the days of old, and as in former years.
Hey, all praise to the Most High. So following Christ's example, we need to be moving like this. We need to be refining the people around us. We need to be purifying the people around us, right? Hold each other to higher standards, higher accountability, right? If we trying to do this thing for the Most High, we got to do it on 10,000. Nothing else on earth should get more attention and more devotion than the work that we doing for the Most High God, man. And if Christ was here, you got to look at it like, if Christ was here, would he be pleased with my efforts? If Christ was here, would he still be pushing me through this fire to get to be more focused, to be more dangerous as it comes to this word, like, and be more drenched in these scriptures, man? Right? So we all have that. That's something that I've been meditating on, and I need to really just hone in on this week. So I hope it gets y'all as well. But hey, all praise to the Most High, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, for the Torah portion. Y'all read Genesis chapter 15 and 16 for next week. Still going in on the story of Abraham. If y'all got any more questions, let us know, and we'll get into it. All right. But we love y'all. We're gonna catch y'all later. We're gonna hit y'all with that Daniel 7:18 real quick.
This book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever.
Barakatah Yahweh. Hey, that's right. That's right. Hey, love y'all. Enjoy the rest of y'all night, man. Shalom.
Shalom.
This is not a test.
Black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, 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 black music, black music, black music, black